Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Dororo. No, just Dororo.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Dororo.
Dororo. Yeah.
Dororo.
Yeah.
Dororo.
Episode 6?
Yes,
Episode
that's right.
6.
And otherwise known as what will probably be Episode Sadness.
Episode Sadness, yeah.
Last episode did not build a lot of trust in me that these things will go well.
No.
And
Yakimaru lost his leg at like the knee, and this was his real leg.
Like the worst timing, probably.
Yep.
Because he's far away, and this was gonna happen. And
thankfully, the Bard Priest is there.
Yes,
which is good.
He'd probably be dead.
Which is good. But also Dororo went to check up on Mio, and we were right. We were right. Mio is doing what she can as a lady of the night for her siblings, her war orphan siblings. But yeah, things don't look good for her survival rates if this show's dark world is any indication of that.
Not a snowball's chance in hell. Like it's bad. And the thing is, it's not even here. It's the fact that it's the fact that there's this whole army, right? You know, and she's probably just gonna get cut to pieces. Hopefully not literally. Yeah. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, oh boy. Yeah, we know. Jeez, no. Party's over. The party is over. Oh boy. But I only have one leg now. Oh boy.
I like that shot.
Yeah. That would be really cool if Mio survives, though. That would be awesome. I'm so serious.
Yeah, please. Hey, see, there's Mio. And
wait,
now she's gone.
Oh. Yeah. Sorry, darling. It's not that easy.
And the way they're facing opposite ways. Yeah, she's totally gonna die. Light it up, baby. So good. I love that little. It reminds me of like all those AMVs you used to watch. They would sync up like sound effects to come through the music at specific parts.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Oh. The guy's kind of a badass.
But, you know, he still needs blood and limbs and things.
Yeah. I love how they're talking about it like it's nothing, though.
Yeah, but it's like he lost the leg.
Yeah. And he's perceptive, too.
Yeah, He's got to... Daddy's got to express some rage.
Yeah. Nope. Right. Oh. Cool. The only one of these she's going to see is probably going to be in the next life. Yeah.
But not this year.
They're trying to get their crop going again. That's a smart dad.
Well, and he's probably also wanting to protect his son because he thinks that, you know, that might be one of the things that the demons do next. You know?
Oh, sure. But also just like, there's nothing special about him just because he's his son.
Yes.
So, he could die just like any of the other men.
There's that motivation.
Oh, dang. Never enough.
Yeah.
私はただ何をそのような多方丸我が子を厭う母がどこにおりましょうや。
Oh boy. And where is he gonna go riding to?
少し
Nice, he has some friends. This is cool.
They're probably gonna die too.
母上見てください母上
She's always praying, yeah. For Hyakimaru's safety, probably.
何よりも強く思いを寄せるものがある。
Yeah. It's amazing how children can always sense the discrepancies in where the love is directed and stuff.
父上も
Well, right, because they're supposed to
国
notice
ごと小
things.
さな礎一つの上に乗って
一体お二人には何が。
I'm liking this added emphasis on the son having some art.
I love that they're showing that the bleeding still won't stop. No, yeah, no, don't do that.
百鬼丸でしまったら
Oh, she didn't get a chance to sleep.
Nope.
Crap.
無理しちゃってバカだね。
The blue. Did you see the blue?
簡単じゃないって分かってたのに
So he can sense emotion too.
Yeah.
ダメダメこもった獣みたいだって
He's like, I'm not gonna get used to it.
百鬼丸好きでしょ
Oh.
赤い
He's like,
Nice.
oh, oh.
私ね
He's gonna try to sing with her. Watch.
That would be awesome.
あの人の髪にこ
Oh,
の
nice. Nice.
Oh.
あの歌を聴いているときは静まるようだが、
静まるって
百鬼丸が赤ん坊の時から持ってる鬼神の炎さ、ゴリビ
Yeah, that's the little bits of red inside him.
知れないがね。
Yeah.
Yeah.
穴蔵から出てきたもんが鬼だったってことにならねえようにしなよ。
そんなに見られると百鬼丸って人の魂が見えるんでしょ私のはあんまり見ないできっとすごく汚れてるすごく不思議この手は嫌じゃない
Wow. Wow.
He's definitely dying now. Literally going from that to we can't wait any longer. Yep. Uh-huh. Oh, lovely.
Yep.
Spies. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep. And on
仕事
cue.
かいそっかあんた私の仕事おいらわざと覗いたわけじゃ私は恥ずかしいとは思ってないから生きていくためだものあんたくらいの年でよく私の仕事が分かったね
Oh, Dororo boy.
おっかちゃんとずっと旅しててでもおっかちゃんが絶対やらなかった仕事だから
Oh, wow.
そう
Yeah.
偉いおっかちゃんね
She's gone now, isn't she?
Yeah.
そうやっておっかちゃんは死んじまった
Oh.
お
Wow.
っかちゃんは偉いけど同じくらい偉いよ
Dang. Oh, you were right. This is the sadness episode.
えれ
Oh.
なんでなくしたの戦から取り返してやるんだら田んぼも
Yes.
畑も全部
But why do you have to give her this motivational speech before she's gonna
ありがとうね
die?
Yeah.
片足取られたぐらいなんだよ取り戻したんだから黙ってねえで喋んなよ鬼神なんかに負けねえよな鬼神なんかになるわけねえよな
Okay.
赤い花摘んであの人
Nice. She imagines herself in that field. Okay.
Okay, so
So she's
All
good.
right.
She's good.
yeah, well, I guess they're still planning the attack.
百鬼丸を行かせちゃダメよ戦場で集めたんだ
Oh.
That's
no,
bad.
That's bad.
That's bad.
If they've been harvesting swords, that could lead a soldier back here.
Well, it could lead a soldier back here, and it also could be evidence, right? So
Yep.
it's like, oh well.
Yep. Crap.
Oh
Crap. No.
Oh boy.
No, Mio. Come on. Come on. Oh, come on. He's going to fight it? Really?
Really?
が鬼神退治に行っちまったドロロ
Oh crap! The payment, you know.
No.
Yeah.
No. Even if he comes back,
Oh, they're all gonna
kids
be
over
dead.
there.
And since it was a different kid, it wasn't Dororo that said that. Dororo was probably already going to Hyakimaru, and then when they get back, it'll just be everyone's gone.
Dang.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Nice.
Intentionally gave it the leg to get. Oh.
Okay. All right. Oh.
No, not
crap.
the kids. Come
Crap.
on. Yep, and right as the demon dies, the rain disappears. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
God,
だから
really?
オイラに黙っていくなんてひでえよ。よかったな。
Oh, and your leg grew
どうした
back.
兄貴？
Gotcha.
Jesus, come on! They're just kids!
なんだよ。これこういうことだよ。
God. Oh.
Let the devil out, Hyakimaru. Kill them all.
姉ちゃん、タケ。離せバカ野郎。お前らなんで
Yeah, Hayakimaru, let it out. Light it up, baby.
Just like in the OP.
姉ちゃんしっかり。
Oh my god, she's alive. Oh my god.
姉ちゃん。
He knows. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That is terrifying. Oh, jeez. Oh.
兄貴。
穴蔵から出てきたもんが鬼だったってことにならねえようにしなよ。助けてくれ。頼む、助けて。
やめろ兄貴。やめてくれ。ダメだ。鬼になっちゃダメだ。兄貴。姉ちゃんが持ってたん
Oh,
だ。
and he's gonna tell the story. He's gonna tell the story.
種もみだ。
Oh.
侍から取り戻したんで。
Oh, we can make rice patties. Yeah.
姉ちゃんは負けてね。頼むよ。
His first word. His first word.
貝放つんであの人の髪にこの花さしてあげよ
Yep. Yeah. God, when you know it's coming, you know it's coming, but it's still. I am impressed with this show's ability to showcase the uncaged, unhinged Hyakimaru being actually terrifying. Like, it shook me out of my sorrow in the moment, just being like, no, he's.
Oh, and it was cathartic to watch him cut them to pieces. It's like, you know it's coming. You know it's coming. But
see, there's like multiple levels of genius with this. That was technically one of Daiga's men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which means he's going to go run back and tell him that they were killed by an armless, you know. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Can't have nice things in this world.
Nope.
Nope.
Can't. You can't.
Yeah. It's a dark, cruel world, and I am starting to
very beautiful.
I'm starting to understand where Miura got a lot of inspiration from with regards to
happiness. No, we can't have that.
No. And I am impressed with the brilliance of having such a simple, predictable story be something that opens up the plot lines, though, and character arcs for multiple things.
Yeah.
You know what we got this episode? Hyakimaru, will he become a monster of vengeance? Something I had been like thinking about in the previous episode. We got the whole conclusion of this whole thing of Mio and about the effect it has on Hyakimaru's humanity and Dororo's, with Dororo telling also some hints about the backstory.
Yeah, with his mom and everything.
About his mom, and also a potentially slight confirmation about Dororo being a guy. But then also Daiga and the whole thing noticing with the demons and stuff, and then also his son, who is now starting to realize the aspect of his mother's love being for something else out there that's not him, which is unsettling and wrestling with that, with his identity and stuff.
And the thing is that once the guy that's the survivor comes back, and he's gonna say it's an arm, someone with swords for arms and everything. The dad's gonna freak out, and then the son's gonna finally realize what it is. Because at that point they're probably going to mention it's Hyakimaru, it's your demon touched son. He's come back, or something like that, right?
Well, that would be interesting, because I don't think the father would tell anyone about this son, because it would bring dishonor upon him.
Maybe.
I think that this is going to be a very, it's going to build the suspense, Jacob. Think about it this way. And I think that you're right in that the son is going to notice, but it's be more of a thing of that they're not telling me about what it is.
Well, and
it's a thing that they are important about, but you're not telling me everything.
And he could confront the mom at that point, because he'll probably be able to make the connection that this is what his mom cares about so much. And at that point, it wouldn't be too hard to put things together in a general sense.
Sure.
And then he could confront her for specifics.
Yeah.
Which, again, could be another aspect for, if the son ends up being the father's undoing, then that basically ties into how, by sparing this person's life, Hyakimaru also set up his own revenge without him actually doing it or knowing that would be the thing.
Yeah.
Against the person who did this to him.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Keep going. Did you have something else, or do you want me to?
Well, it's there's layers and layers to this episode that are absolutely wonderful, and it's fantastic. But at the same time, I'm not sure whether to be sad or mad right now, because the thing is that this happened. And I had a feeling this was going to happen, right?
Oh, we knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
We knew this was going to happen. I didn't know about the kids, though.
Certainly that Mio was going to die, and I was pretty sure the kids were going to die, too. And once they showed the swords, it's like, oh, yay.
Yeah, once we saw the swords, it's like, crap.
Yep, no, they're all dead. They're all dead, right? And the fact that in so many ways it could have been avoided, if Hyakimaru had been there at the beginning, right? If he had listened and not gone to fight the demon, right? Then he would have been there. He would have been there, and that wouldn't have happened, right?
Now, maybe they would have waited for this one with arm blades sharpening them to be wait a minute.
Yeah, but
we're gonna wait and ambush them at night. That might have, but possibly, still, Hyakimaru probably would have done an amazing job killing them all.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if he had just slept inside the house, then they probably would have been all like, "All right, we're here to kill everybody," and then and so here's the thing, because it's made so obvious that this is going to happen, right?
Yep.
But. And the whole thing of them talking about the happy ending and the rice patty and everything and all of that stuff, that's I've seen this kind of stuff before, so I know that that's set up for additional emotional hurt when they end up dying. But the thing is that it is still setting up the possibility that maybe, just maybe, they could have a happy ending.
Yep.
And I want that for them. I really want that for them. But then this happens, and the thing is, even though it's good job Hyakimaru and good job Dororo for stopping Hyakimaru,
in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Well, in the end, it doesn't even matter. But I also would have preferred if he just killed the guy,
the other guy.
Yeah.
Well, totally. In a lot of ways, the only person who didn't prefer that at the moment was Dororo. The only person. Because now...
Well, and even then, from his perspective, the reason why he probably thought that is because he was... I'm guessing this is what he was thinking. I don't want to lose him too.
Don't want to lose...
Hyakimaru.
Oh, Dororo's... Yes, absolutely.
Basically, the idea that it's they're all gone, right? And he had that first shock of being the first one to see it, right? Because Hyakimaru was lagging behind.
Yeah.
And...
Yeah.
part of me almost wonders
Hmm.
if this is like an element of fate or something like that, of the demons fighting back in a way.
Interesting.
Because since Hyakimaru was cursed, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and he has residual
demonic
like stuff over him.
Exactly.
Yeah. It gives him kind of his spiritual senses and all
while,
that.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, so like the blessing on the land and the empire and stuff that was gained in exchange for Hyakimaru's condition.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that is much more like transcendent and not understood than simple demons, even if they're big and powerful and scary,
right,
that can still bleed and be cut to pieces and whatnot, right?
Exactly.
So the idea that Hyakimaru has been sort of demon touched, I wouldn't be surprised if there was, in addition to the tangible, literal, physical things that surround him of losing all those parts of his body, right? If there was something else that was basically like a bad luck charm, right? That caused a lot of this stuff to happen. Now, maybe it's just because I'm thinking more of Berserk and the whole thing of causality and is the destiny of mankind controlled by some transcendental entity, but
I think this is more symbolic rather than literal plot mechanics.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Because if you think about the genius of something, well, yeah, I know, but if you think about the genius of something like Berserk, is that he's willing to tackle it and actually explain things via plot mechanics, whereas most stories will have it via plot contrivances. And yes, that there can be a way to handle it so that it mechanically makes sense within the story,
or even that it's designed to not make sense in that, and it's resolved that way, and that's a satisfying resolution still, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but it still has to make sense into how the story got to a place of where it is. Like, we have to be able to follow along with the story.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally, yeah. But
yeah,
but one of the things that I think is often overlooked with the magical aspect in a lot of stories, whenever there's like something that is not understood, is that you don't ever need to have it become understood, right?
That's fine. Yeah,
you can have it be not understood the entire way through, and as long as you're consistent with how it's not understood, then
I don't think anything about that has breached the inconsistent.
Oh yeah, me neither.
Yeah, If anything, I'm totally with you in that. But then it's not about whether, for me at least, it's not about whether there's some kind of effect regarding the things in proximity to Hyakimaru, but rather the aspect in that when you have been cursed and it wasn't your doing, there's a lot of things that are going to happen around you that will be these natural kind of rippling consequences that will be your doing. But because he's so not used to having much real influence on the way the world works and stuff.
Yeah, he can't see the future. He would have no way of knowing that him going to face the demon would cause them all to be, slaughtered. Yeah.
Right. It's something that I think is something that benefits this story by having it be from a third-person omniscient perspective. One, because we can't... we lose a lot of the mystery when we get into Hyakimaru's thoughts.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And also, I don't know how someone who's never spoken how their thoughts would sound. That'd be impossible to write.
It'd be utterly foreign. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess a part of me wants that, because then it can be an additional thing that where there's a way to know at the end of the story, once Hyakimaru kills all the demons or whatever, that he will be able to have a happy ending. That all of the stuff that happened up till now was due to supernatural hoobity-ha interference, whatever, and the ones responsible, that there was someone responsible and justice was meted out on them.
Yeah, that feels not culturally sound within the story as well.
Yeah, I don't think they're actually going to do it. It's just something that this episode messed with me in ways that I didn't expect it to, because I expected everything that happened in the episode pretty much. But that doesn't make it any better.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna go into predictions based on kind of what they're showing us, not what I'd like to see, because I didn't want to see this, and I didn't want to see the kids get slaughtered.
Yeah.
In some ways I'm not even sure I wanted to see Hyakimaru go fully ape crazy with regards to killing them all and basically stopping short of just eating their faces, which is basically what I consider his display of violence to be. I was happy that those guys died, but the way in which they were just butchered was disturbing. Like, it was actually disturbing.
Well, and the fact that he couldn't even really talk, so it was just this cry.
Yeah, the Seiyu doing an amazing job voicing Hyakimaru.
Yep.
And his first word being the name of the first person he ever really loved.
Yep.
And that just, that's good. So, we've got a lot of plot things now that have been kicked up, that have been stirred up. In some ways, the hornet's nest has been properly kicked. But there was also another thing that happened here. He got his leg back.
Yes, even though it was eaten and he had already gotten that leg back. So maybe it was because the demon had taken that. The demon took that essentially from him.
Right. Which is like, wait, but how did he get his? How did he get his voice then?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Like narrative convenience, so that he could be, screaming while all of this was happening,
while also fighting really properly against these guys. He was in top form basically against these guys. There was nothing holding him back.
Nope.
So there's that. But I'm really, really excited about the implications of the world structure that they're starting to set up via the family of Hyakimaru.
Yeah.
Hyakimaru's OG, well, his parents, but then the third
son.
member, the son,
Yeah.
which they said the name, and I'm sorry, I'll get it into the notes for the next one, but I'm just saying, this is the one part about the show now that just went off into, there is almost no way to predict this now, because I did not expect the jealous love thing to be brought up so early. I thought it was more of going to be a thing of like, my mother seems distracted. And distracted was about as far as I was thinking about it.
Sure.
Like before this episode. But now that they've got this, and he's got two friends.
Oh yeah, people to talk about it with.
People to talk about it with. People to have interactions with. And to give them actual character arcs where they have like loyalty to him by being like maybe his servants, or maybe also like, well, we care about you. We've spent years together. We've trained together. We fought together. It's like there's a camaraderie, there's a kinship, there's so many things that can happen here. It's another family unit within the family unit. And then just the idea that Hyakimaru is actually causing them suffering, which might actually cause them to chaos, split out of control. Like you had a theory a while ago, it was in the previous episode, I think, about how he would like turn to like Daiga, the father, would turn to the demons again to try to double down on the deal and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, potentially. There, like I want it to be something where Daiga's his name.
I think it says his name. It's either Daiba or Daiga. Forgot.
Where he basically causes his son to turn on it.
Right.
Where it's his actions in some way, and I think the most poetic way would be if he tried to do another deal. Exactly. But we've now got it set up to where it's not just necessarily the father and son that can have their typical kind of squabble. There's the father and the mother and the son potentially getting estranged a bit via a very relatable way to do it with the two friends on the side. Which, by the way, like the choice to introduce these other characters on basically kind of a side character of a side character of a side character, I absolutely love how they did it. They gave them some redeeming qualities right off the bat, and just showed that they're like, hey, no, you were kind of being a jerk to your mom.
They're like sort of.
Yeah, like, sort of. Like, come on,
like really?
Like they're calling him on his bullshit. I love it, right? Now, of course, they're probably gonna die too, right? Like they seeded the whole thing of him wanting to go fight, right? But being like, well, no, it's dangerous, and and
it's our job to protect you, so we know what's probably.
And even if it's not something that is specifically like tied to the demons or anything like that, there is this idea of the fateful deaths of the people that are close to the people that have been interacting with the demons, right?
Right. So the first degree of separation is the father,
right?
And then Hyakimaru is technically 2 degrees. But there's 1 degree in the fact that the demons directly interact.
So those are the two main points, and then
you add the mother and the son.
Right.
But the thing is, in some ways, this is the other thing, is that Hyakimaru has a lost brother out there.
Sure.
Imagine if Hyakimaru ends up, coming into this whole kind of dynamic, because this is like a 25 episode or 20. It's like a two-course kind of setup here. We could get some things where Hyakimaru could interact with the brother. There could be all kinds of stuff there.
And there could be a ton of jealousy there, too, because then he finds out that Hyakimaru is the one that the mom was, caring about and thinking about this whole time.
But also the idea that if they end up in any kind of situation where they're forced into conflict with each other, the son, not Hyakimaru, the other one, might not be as, interested in necessarily killing him, because it might be a thing of like, well, on one level, it's you're the thing that is taking my mother away from me, like her attention,
and
away from
also
me.
my inheritance,
and all that. So I want to kill you, but then also it might think about it if he starts to mature a little bit and goes, well, wait a minute, actually, you and I have a common enemy.
If by that time he's turned on the father,
So I could see this getting really layered really quickly by having this be a family drama more so than a spirit monster of the week kind of thing.
Right.
And I think the proof of that is actually in that they introduce, like you were saying, tertiary characters with names so early in attachment to the side character of the main character.
Because what that's kind of doing is it's basically saying that the son is more of a main character than he was before.
Way more. Yes.
He's going to play a bigger part. Because otherwise he wouldn't, like, I think of it like a leg. Like if you have like one small little leg that just sort of helps maintain balance, but it doesn't really bear weight, what would be the point of putting two other legs on there, right? Like it wouldn't do anything. So he's gonna get some clear focus that is him focused, not just like the family focus.
Right. He literally left the family.
Yep. Exactly.
Went on a ride with them. They had a little bit of conversation.
Yep.
And just by giving them each a line, they each said so much about their characters, and that they care about the son. They care about their friend. But two, they're there to kind of be like his foil in a way that's helpful,
Right, exactly. To help him truly grow. And you can't grow without being challenged.
Exactly.
That's kind of what the son is upset about, because he's not able to, go and fight. Right. And also in the case of Hyakimaru, and oh boy. Yeah.
And Hyakimaru has Dororo. But the thing is that Dororo and him need some kind of a way to communicate in such a way that goes like more heavy in depth into the feeling side of things.
Well, the fact
because they have their shared loss now. They have their shared thing that they can experience with each other. And I would love to have a sweet moment where Dororo sits with a campfire and Hyakimaru's just there listening and like brooding. And he's like, I need to tell you the story about my mother. And he tells him the story, and he relates it to it, and he's like, I know what you're experiencing, Hyakimaru. Like, let me be here for you. Let me help you. And it's like, oh, that's so sweet. I want the ending to be basically just the two of them, just being free to live their lives however they want. There's no curses anymore. There's no hateful father or hateful brother out for them or anything like that. It's just the two of them, and they get to basically just be free. They get to plant the rice paddy seeds,
Yeah, that would be awesome if they ended up doing that. Because one of the things that I do get scared about, that I'm not scared about with this show, but in general I get scared about when things happen, is when you have a tragic episode like this and characters die, and they meant a lot to characters in the show. This usually more happens with like Western television, where it's like different seasons. Is that they'll forget about those characters as time goes on because it's a new season or whatever, and then it's almost like they never existed. That sucks. I hate it when that happens. I don't think that there's any worry about doing that here, especially since they made a point of putting the rice seeds in a new bag. So I absolutely believe that at the end of the show, when they end up settling down, they'll plant it. They'll have their rice paddy, and that'll be it.
In some ways, I almost feel like if any of them are getting a happy ending, it's Dororo. One, because it's the name of the show, but two, I almost think Hyakimaru needs to find peace.
Yes, absolutely.
More than happiness, if that makes sense. Because the song made Hyakimaru feel happy. Obviously, made him feel all kinds of things.
Right.
But I think what we've now set up here is that the road ahead is filled with more stuff like this. There's going to be more loss, more blood, more anger, more hatred, more negativity.
Right. He needs to get to a point where he basically has where he's stable in a way. Like and peace is really what it is. But the idea that where he can stand on his own 2 feet, right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to worry about, having blades for arms and things like that. He can be a normal person,
Yeah.
Because right now, with where he's at, for very understandable reasons, he can't. And that's probably where the the final resolution for Hyakimaru as a character will be.
Yeah.
His dad dying and stuff, that'll happen. But where his arc ends, hopefully, because I suppose they could have it, and
where he dies.
Yeah, they could have him die.
Yeah. This does seem like the kind of show where it could end like that.
Yeah, and if they do,
also Dororo is in the story.
Well, and it's called Dororo, not Hyakimaru.
Yeah. I think it would be kind of a spoiler though in the beginning,
Yeah, but
yeah.
But even if they do have Hyakimaru die, I think they could have him find peace in death, and like before he dies, kind of a thing. Like, I'm not going there to die. I'm going there to find out if I'm really alive.
Right. I have a theory.
Okay.
So, regaining what you've lost.
Yeah.
That was what Mio wanted to take back what Laura had taken from them. Hyakimaru wants to regain what was taken from him.
Yep.
Via the curse, right?
Yeah.
Now, one of the things with the mother is that she's, constantly praying to the Buddha that they have, trying to basically, wish blessings upon their lost son. Or just for good stuff for the family or whatever. But the point is that I'm sensing this aspect of alignment and kind of some of the tenets of Buddhism with regards to bringing all into one, having everything restored in some ways, but also having that aspect of, balance. But I would say it's more closer to Zen, actually, with regards to him being this
internal balance,
right. Him being in this state of chaos,
right?
And in some ways, the world
is also in chaos.
Well, here's where my theory comes into play. The world was actually put into order once he was cursed. So, contrary to the hero's journey, he's been cursed by being a being of chaos to being reintroduced back into this world of false order that he is basically
and then the chaos spreads from him to the world.
Right. So the world was imbalanced basically by having the chaos forcibly removed.
Right.
And
he was basically
localized into him.
Right. It was that motion that you made there was perfect. It was imbalanced because he was the counterweight for this region. Right. Yeah.
And then in some ways balance is still being
balance still has chaos.
Yes, balance should have chaos. Right.
Because otherwise you have something that's rigid and doesn't grow.
And something that doesn't move.
Exactly.
Just in general.
Yep.
But the idea that the chaos hasn't been lessened or greater,
it's
raised. It hasn't been lessened or raised.
Manageable chaos.
Well, no, the idea is that it's just shifting locations. It was localized within in Hyakimaru with all the demon residue stuff, and now it's going back to where it originally was. Sure. So in some ways, the abomination of nature is such that there was these blessings that shouldn't have come there because Daigo maybe doesn't deserve them because he's a crappy guy.
Well, and also just that wasn't how the cards played. This area wasn't a prosperous area. He wasn't maybe a good general or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, he didn't manage the land, the people, or anything like that properly. Or wasn't he not even a lord really at that point prior?
And I love the part where it starts raining and everyone's like, "Woo, this is awesome!" And then suddenly Hyakimaru kills the demon and the rain stops.
Yep.
And it's just like, and the dad knows. He's just like, you're out there. Yep.
See, I love the idea of his paranoia, though, playing tricks on him to where he's not 100% sure, though, that it is Hyakimaru.
I want an Azula kind of resolution for him.
Okay.
Like, I want him to die.
But want him to go crazy.
But I want him to absolutely unwind because he'll see his kingdom, everything that he's worked for, everything that was so valuable to him, more than Hyakimaru, just crumble. And eventually he's left with nothing.
Right. So here's my theory with regards to this. If Hyakimaru was put on the balance of, if everything was shifted out of balance, all the chaos was thrown into Hyakimaru. This is symbolism primarily. If by the end of the show he's removed all the chaos from him and put it back into his environment, he will have achieved some level of stability within himself, some level of ability to grow. But he will be still, I think, in a lot of ways, a child. He will have gone through all this thing, this loss of innocence, all this journey, but this happened from when he was a child. He never got the opportunity to really have innocence or really have any of the normal things that even Dororo like got to experience in some ways.
Okay.
So by the end of this, in some ways, it will be like a rebirth for him. It will be
Sure.
like a moment where he will be a new person.
Yep. I mean, because he is slowly rebirthing over the course of his story. And if you think about the hero's journey, a lot of that is all just about rebirthing. You know, like it's about turning into something else, into maybe your truer self or your the next stage of yourself.
Right. One of the things though that is my thing on having this be some kind of inverse of a hero's journey though, is that even though the hero's journey is cyclical, I see this as something where it's the opposite, where it basically has him then just going on. Because in some ways he didn't find peace, he just removed the chaos. So
I mean, that's kind of like finding peace.
Totally, but then he would have
because peace doesn't have to mean perfection.
Correct.
Right? Peace just means one, being at peace with yourself, right?
Right.
But also then, you know, being at peace with the world around you, not having, you know, because
point.
right now he definitely has a chip on his shoulder, shall we say?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Well, but with the thing of the hero's journey, a lot of the times in stories they don't actually show like multiple revolutions of the hero's journey, even though that's more like what ideally you want to do just in society and on a personal level and everything. Usually it'll just be the one rotation.
Right. It won't be as complicated. It'll be a very simple
exactly.
It'll,
you do one revolution and then there you go. You know, and then you have a different story for the next revolution. Basically.
Yeah.
But what were you going to say?
I was going to say that he won't be in at peace with his environment, because the environment will have shifted back into chaos. So he'll be order, and he won't fit in this world of chaos.
Well, but
so in some ways, he'll either have to do the farmer thing, and he'll go and sit down and do the rice paddy thing, or he'll do the exact opposite of that, and now he will be the true wandering Ronin with no name, going out and doing what he can to then reverse everything back.
Potentially.
So it's a constant cycle back between order, chaos, order, chaos, order,
in
chaos.
both of those situations, though, I think it would work though, because what you have is with the case of the rice paddy. I think that's the more idyllic, like not stereotypical, but just the fullest extent of the calm, the eye of the storm, basically, right? Where he's got his little moment of or area where he can be happy and have peace, even if the world around him goes nuts, right?
Totally.
And in the case of the traveling Ronin thing, then he would be then basically, if he is at peace with himself,
right, then
the way that he is kind of at peace with his environment is by trying to.
He can't be in conflict with it then.
Well, yeah, I guess
that's the thing.
Well, okay, maybe it's something where he's in conflict with his environment because he's a traveling Ronin, right? But it's more of a thing of he's not in conflict with the people that he would be trying to help. Like, because like if he does do the traveling Ronin thing, I don't see it as being something where he is specifically like he has some goal.
No,
right?
No, I agree. I agree totally. That takes away the whole idea of the wandering aspect of him going out there,
right? And then his story also wouldn't be over. And they could do that, because this is an old manga, and maybe it went on for a long time, and then this is sort of like,
But to tie it to some Western influences, doesn't that feel very cowboy going out into the sunset kind of thing, where there's no perfect happy ending? Sure. But it's happy because he chose this ending.
Exactly, yeah. If they tried to go for like a perfect happy ending, I'd kind of be a little bit disappointed.
And that's what I feel like the rice paddy kind of is a bit.
Well, but here's the thing. The reason why I disagree is because they can have it be something where it's a happy ending for all intensive purposes. But the thing is that it's not a happy ending that didn't come without that came without a cost, right? It's a happy ending that very much had a cost.
The past happened.
Right, the past happened. Yeah. That's not something that's going to be forgotten. That's not because Hyakimaru the universe wouldn't let him, and or he wouldn't want to, right? And that's where I see it being able to have a happy ending while holding to the darkness and the grim bleakness of this world, because that's where I feel like it'll give value to the happy ending. Because if it's like
extra meaning,
exactly,
because of the journey we went on,
right? Because you don't appreciate. No, you do, or I do. Having that, and they lived happily ever after in like the Disney movies or whatever, right? If it's properly built up to and whatever and stuff. But the thing is that if it's in Disney, then it's like, whatever, they live happily ever after. But here, if they manage to get to something where Hyakimaru gets some semblance of a happily ever after, right? Then awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because we wish for good things for these boys, but
we know that it's not going to.
We also have to like look at what we're experiencing right now.
Exactly.
And think about what makes sense with regards to that.
Yep.
The next set of episodes though, probably going to be awesome, because what's probably going to happen is the father is going to make a move.
Sure, probably.
And that's going to kickstart a whole other aspect of the plot. And right now, in a lot of ways, Hyakimaru has kind of been this already wandering but proactive protagonist. Whereas he might shift into the reactive protagonist if he starts being hunted by his father and their soldiers.
Yeah, I feel like after this point, they could, if they wanted to, shift almost entirely out of the Demon of the Week kind of format, because with everything that happened with Mio, right? This could essentially be considered Hyakimaru's tragic backstory, right? He already had everything with his parents and everything, and that's horrible. But this is like this is kind of
real.
This is kind of like a ground zero.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So, and because of all the plot things that they seeded in this episode, I wouldn't be surprised if moving forward it was all plot kind of stuff, and then now we've basically just gotten a full grounding with Hyakimaru as a character, and then also Dororo and his relationship with Hyakimaru,
right? Which
can of course be further fleshed out as the events of the show go on. But they could keep the demon hunting thing going too for a while.
Yeah, he's got a lot of things still that he needs to get back.
His
probably
eyes,
needs
mainly.
smell, eyes, his 2 arms.
Yes.
And
his arms, that'll be interesting. Like when he gets his arms back.
Yeah, he'll have to learn how to fight all over again.
which will be awesome. Like, let's be real.
That's true.
Like I could totally
He'll probably be better than ever. Like,
oh yeah. Like I could see something happening where like, okay, maybe he goes and there's something that happens where he is set up against, some crazy powerful demon or his father or something like that, and for some reason maybe he loses or he has to run away or something, something happens that basically causes it to stop, but along the way he gets his arms back, and maybe the arms being back is why he can't defeat his father, because he doesn't know how to use them properly, right? And then he has to go on like a training montage in the mountains with Dororo and stuff, and maybe our favorite priest battle bard, and we see him like getting stronger and learning how to use swords the normal way, and and all of that, and then he comes back.
I don't know if this is the kind of show for training montages.
I mean, they kind of did it in the one growing up episode, but this isn't exactly that.
But that was also more of a character thing with the pseudo father,
Well, and showing him growing up. So it's less.
It's more
training,
of a growing up montage, than
right? Exactly. Montage. That shows that as a part of growing up, he gets better, but it's not about he's not good enough just yet. So
Yeah. But we have gone through the first fifth or quarter of the story, and
I just have to say again, like, this episode, I knew it was gonna go like this. But there was that glimmer of hope that thought maybe it won't.
Yeah, every time she came back from a job, we were like,
yeah, exactly.
Yes!
It's like, oh, she's still alive. Okay, but no, because we can't.
This is why we can't have nice things, everybody.
Yep.
So thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion, this amazing episode. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us about these stories or about anime in general, or just talk with us about shows, or also talk with Jake about his awesome book he just published.
Yes, my sci-fi novel Battle Lines is still available for order on Amazon. The link is in the description, so there you go.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.